Speak to me like water flowing over stones. Soften all my doubting. Tell me I am not alone. Burst through these great ramparts. Come back and hem me in. Torrents cannot quench or drown this love sealed in my skin.
Cover me like white fog.
Our marriage definitely went through struggles in that season for a number of reasons. One, anytime you have a baby, let alone 3, there's a strain that comes on because you're not focused on yourselves anymore. Also, we were in such a time of transition because I left my job, which was a big part of my identity. And Keith and I had been teammates and both working. And then the form of our teammate situation had to change because he was going to now pick up an extra job and I was going to be home. That plus his hours just meant a lot of isolation for me and a lot of just a weight that he was carrying. And it meant figuring out marriage all over again. In the moments when we were trying to connect with each other, Keith and I still had this fog and this block that made it feel like it was very hard to reach him. I saw a picture that was called Half Remembered Dream. It was a picture of a girl walking away from the camera, and she's in a field. This is a kind of barren brown field, almost fall or winter-like. And it's completely covered in fog. So you can see her and you can see some of the ground and then the rest of the whole shot and surrounding her and just sitting on the top of the ground is this white fog. And that line, half remembered dream, I thought to myself immediately, you are my half remembered dream. You, Keith, and you, God. Like they're real and they're there, but they're half remembered and I can't reach them. And yet at the same time, I had this longing, like, because of the anxiety part of how I felt, which is like your brain's just going in all these different directions and you're lost inside yourself. I thought to myself, cover me like white fog on these open fields. Cover all my worry. Sing surrender, peace be still. Musically, this song started to take shape over the course of a day or so. I saw the picture, it resonated with my heart, and I kind of go find the rest of the song then. And then the song helps find me. So I started writing it on guitar and wrote a couple pieces in terms of verses and choruses, and then got to a point where I felt like I was a little bit stuck. And so I showed it to Keith, who I also was longing to connect with because I felt like I was in this fog disconnected from him. The song in a way was me reaching out and saying, here's how I feel. I want you to know how I feel. I want to connect with you through this season and in these emotions, because I am sure you feel similarly from your side in terms of the struggle. He offered a whole verse that ended up becoming the end of the song. And so it kind of helped take the song from the direction of we're struggling, I don't know if we're going to survive, this is how I feel, into some of the promises that God has given us, not only in our marriage, but just as his children, that his love for us is a water that can come break through the ramparts, and it can come back and give us boundaries and hem us in, and it can heal us, and it can be the fog and come cover us when we need that too. So that was pretty special that he had those words. One of the tattoos that I have is of my husband's name on my arm, which was something that I did when I was so lost inside of myself that I needed a physical reminder of what was true in my life. And Keith is one of those things that is true in my life, that is God's promises and God's goodness to me. We got to the end and we did feel like, well, how are we going to still communicate the idea that you're not alone and that there is some outside force of love reaching in when you feel isolated? So we not only added the cello to start to allude to that towards the end of the song, but at the very end, Gail sings an echo part that's kind of an answer to the question. Despite the fact that I still am feeling this need to be covered, there is a love that is more powerful than all of the things that I'm feeling, and that he has set me as a seal upon his heart. He's got jealousy for me, and it is going to triumph.